Okay, so last but not least, we've got two more in terms of business horror stories for this kind of mini Halloween edition. It's 9:31. It's what happens and what do you do if your business starts to run out of money. So there's a lot of variables in this to do with different types of businesses and how much money and what your lead times are and that kind of thing. So I'm going to try and keep it fairly general. But if you've got any questions or comments, please drop them in the chat. So again, if your business starts to run out of money, first thing you want to do is actually reduce your overheads and expenditure. I would actually say do this anyway. So even if you're doing really, really well, always look at, is there anything that you pay for that isn't really essential, that doesn't deliver value to you? And do you really need it? Often when you have, it's like a leaky bucket. So you try and build up your cash reserves, because the more cash you have in a business, the more you can invest back into tech and systems and advertising and staff and new product development and all this really kind of cool stuff. So the more cash and the more money you have, the better and the faster that you can grow your business. So if you can, but especially true if you're kind of losing money, maybe you lost some customers, whatever, really look at your overheads. And actually you have to be pretty brutal with this. In former companies, what we've done is that there was one which was losing a lot of money after the oil and gas kind of downturn, is you draw out the org chart, and this is brutal, but you almost have to look at what is the skeleton crew to keep the business alive long enough to basically wait for it to pick up again. And that was literally with a marker pen, crossing out people's names to figure out what business would survive at the required level just to keep you alive. Because again, if the whole business goes under, if you do nothing, everyone loses their jobs. And again, if the business goes under, you can't then recover and re-employ them. So it's a difficult task to do, but it is really kind of important. Next, you then want to look at actually which products within your business actually make you any money. All businesses, and it'll be true with me, that you will have clients and products and services which actually, for whatever reason, just don't make as much money as others. So you really want to know which products or services actually make money, and then put more time and effort into those, and maybe ditch the ones which aren't as profitable, or they could be a loss leader. But you really need to know the performance of different parts of the business, different products, to be able to make that decision. But it's really, really important. Next is almost the lifeline. So I would speak to the bank, speak to your finance providers, look at any way to either reduce the debt, change the debt payback term, speak to your customers, speak to your suppliers in terms of, are you meant to pay someone on 30 days? If you're honest with them and say, actually, look, this has happened, do you mind if we pay on 60 days? Whilst they won't like it, they will respect you telling them, because again, if you do nothing and you go bust, they're probably not going to get paid. So it's that honesty of like almost doing it. But the longer you can extend your lifeline to give you the float, to keep you alive, keep you in the game, the more likely you are to kind of survive and rebound from it. And last but not least, and all of these things should be done in parallel, is go out and sell the hell out of whatever it is that you do, in terms of your customers. You want to go out and ask as many people as you can, is there anything we can help with at the moment? Do you have anything coming up that we can support? And basically do that across your whole kind of product customer line. Because actually what you're then doing is that in every business that I kind of work with, they all have customers, and some of them you might not have worked with for 6 months or a year or 2 years. But the more, even just the process of reaching out, say, look, we're still here, can we have a chat? Is there anything we can help with? Have you got any projects coming up? It puts you back on their radar, because it could be that they kind of just forgot about you and started to use other people. But what you're also then doing is trying to, obviously find new sales leads and that kind of thing, which is cool. And again, on those, you really want to focus on the low-hanging fruit. So you want to focus on the contracts and projects which are realistic and going to happen quickly, because again, what you're trying to do is get cash into the business. It's always easy to get attracted by the really exciting long-term potential of stuff which could happen and be really profitable in a year's time. But if there's only a 10% chance of actually coming off and it's not for a while, it's not going to keep you alive. So you always want to chase the real low-hanging fruit first, and the bigger, longer term projects if you can. But the point is you want to do all of those. So it's reduce your overhead, basically look at all of your product line, your profit margins, which products are valuable. Do you kill ones that kind of aren't? Speak to your bank, funding provider, whoever, to basically give you more of a lifeline in time, in terms of just to give you more time to turn it around and survive, I guess. And then basically sell the hell out of whatever it is that you do. Speak to customers, do promotion, get out there and really kind of sell. And then likewise, if the business does fail or not, quite end the way that you want it to, at least hopefully you will know that you did everything you humanly could to really kind of turn the business around and do a good job. If it doesn't work out, what you don't want to do is kind of limp and then die in a hospital bed just because you haven't really done everything you could to reduce your costs and sell to customers and really kind of fight your way out of it. So that was just something I wanted to kind of talk about.